In this video, I'm going to be putting the camera on the brand new Galaxy S26 Ultra to the test to see how good they've made the camera in this generation of the Ultra phone. Now, if you saw our previous video comparing the S25 Ultra to the 26 Ultra that Naeem hosted, he told you that the differences are very minimal between both phones, but it is noticeable when it comes to zooming in and telephoto because of the wider aperture and also low light performance and also AI processing. So in this video, we're going to be testing it in all these different categories to figure out how much they've really improved this phone. Also for the APV video, we've made our very own LUT to make cinematic looking videos right out of your phone. So make sure you click the link in the description if you want to make videos as cinematic as this. Starting off with the ultra-wide category. It has a dynamic sort of distorted look to it, which most people do like, and I think the results you're getting on the S26 Ultra are pretty good. Another thing I really like on Samsung is the ability to be able to choose the resolution you want to shoot at, and exactly here is the reason why you'd want to switch from 12 megapixel up to 50 megapixel. If you look at the details in the trees at the bottom, the leaves, massive difference between the 12 megapixel and in the 50. Like I can zoom in all the way for the 50 and I'm still retaining details. So if you know you're going to be shooting wider and you want details and everything, shoot at 50.
Okay, this shot for instance, shot in ultra wide, even when I crop into 100%, you can see it's maintaining really good details even though this is a 12 megapixel shot. Of course, you can go higher with 50 megapixels, but this is what it's looking at straight out of camera. Once again, here, the details, very nice, good distortion control on the sides. Of course, it has that ultra wide camera look, but it still looks very good. This is one of my nicer shots from the City Hall in San Francisco, and I really like what it does with the architecture. Ultrawide is a very dynamic way of shooting, and the S26 Ultra both exposing for outside and inside at the same time and maintaining those colors in a very pleasant and nice looking fashion.
Now, the macro on this isn't amazing, nothing to shout about. It's decent, but again, I am a pretty big fan of tele macro, so I would prefer if we use the telephoto lens for macro rather than the ultrawide. So minimum focusing is actually pretty damn close. So right here, I'm still in focus. Results aren't terrible, but you don't get that subject isolation and depth and compression.
And honestly, this is the part I dislike on Samsung's Ultra phones in general, is that they're using the ultra-wide camera for macro as well. You have lesser quality when you're trying to zoom in macro and that close, and when you try to magnify it, it looks pretty bad.
So I'm hoping that the next generation has a tele-macro lens in some way, because I don't think it's easy to fit it into this module, but here's to hoping they figure it out somehow. It's a cat! Baba, what's good, Baba? What's your goody goody? Great time for us to test out the portrait mode. So we're gonna look at subject isolation with this street cat, especially because it's got really nice looking fur, but that's gonna make it challenging for the phone to be able to figure out the depth.
Okay, portraits on the S26 Ultra look very nice. Very good edge separation, and the blur in the background looks very natural. This is indoors in a museum, and look at how it cuts out her hair. Even though we're sort of in this filter applied, the cinematic filter, it does a very good job with the grain. In fact, I feel like with this filter, it looks even more realistic, the blur. Very visible that it's able to understand what's foreground and what's background and what's your main subject. So in this case, for instance, it's able to know that the phone is the foreground, so it should be out of focus, including the hand. The subject is the girl herself, so she should be in focus. The background should be the background, so it's out of focus. So it's able to get that very natural fall off of bokeh.
Now when it comes to the main camera sensor on this phone, it does a pretty good job at maintaining the same results that we got with the S25 Ultra. Not much improvement there or much change there. The main thing that we did see differences in is in the AI processing. It's slightly more enhanced, slightly better at recognizing subjects, all the way up to 3x.
So right here we have the wide camera. Zooming in to 100%, you can see how well it maintains details, even though this is just a 12 megapixel shot. It does a very good job. I can push this even further to 200% and you can still see the details are really nice and tack sharp. So this is where I try to shoot a tighter shot without using the macro mode, and you can see that the details are really well maintained actually. Do I wish the minimum focusing distance was slightly tighter? Absolutely. I wish I could get even closer, but this is the max I got. This as well is one of the nicer shots that I liked. Of course, there's so many people, and if you edit this, it'll look a lot nicer, but just look at how it exposes for the outside and inside without blowing anything out too much. Okay, this right here is where I was testing out the 200 megapixel shot, which you can see right over here. This maintains some crazy details. So let's zoom in at 100%. and look at how much detail is maintained. You can see the face, you can see these people's face clearly, everyone over here as well, you can see over here as well, so many different stories to be told, but it is still a very distracting shot. So what if I want to get rid of all of these people? You can of course use Galaxy AI, and that will remove the people, but that introduces a new issue. So now when we zoom into the sections where the people were, you can see it drops the resolution quite a bit. So for a 200 megapixel shot, it'll really degrade the quality for the sections that are generated by AI. It is even more apparent if you open them side by side just like this. So this part exactly is where we see more loss of quality. Yeah, right over here. So you can see the details are much lower here. Now for these shots, I actually activated their classic film filter, and I really like how it looks. Like, check out the grain that we're getting out of this. Now this is another test for the 200 megapixel. As you can see, this is shot in 200 megapixels just to show you guys the details. So when I zoom in to 200%, look at how much detail is maintained on this massive frame. Just all in all, definitely think that this is the best lens that you can use on the S26 Ultra. It gives you the best details, most consistent.
One thing I really appreciate on the S26 Ultra is if you go into your settings and your camera assistance, there's a whole bunch of really granular controls you can apply to the general usage app, even outside of the Expert RAW app. So things like your maximum or minimum shutter speed being set so that you don't get motion blur in your shots, or you do get motion blur in your shots, and also being able to control whether your shots are cooler or warmer is all customizable. You do that once and you can just go out and shoot. Now when it comes to the telephoto performance, personally speaking, I feel like the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra, even the 25 Ultra, when you're taking photos zoomed in, they're pretty decent. I've been shooting between 3x to 5x. I don't really go to 10x, but if I do, that's where I would stop. Anything beyond 10x, it's not really that great. Okay, subject tracking is decent. Look at that, it's tracking the subject. Even if I move a frame, it's focusing on the bird. That's really nice. So we're at 10x, and let's go in tighter at 30x. Boom. Snap that. Honestly speaking, the zoom capabilities, I feel like I'm kind of spoiled with the Chinese brands now, like Oppo and Vivo. Their zooming is a lot more powerful than this, but that's really reliant on AI processing. This gives you a lot more natural looking results when you're telephoto like 10x and above, but they aren't the best looking photos, in my personal opinion. With the S26 Ultra, we're getting a lot better low light performance, especially because of that wider aperture. This also means your bokeh will be slightly more pleasant looking and organically bigger outside of portrait mode because you have that wider aperture compared to the S25 Ultra.
Shots taken at the 3x are actually one of my favorites because that depth of field, that focal length push, to me looks very nice. It's a very nice way to isolate and add a little bit more compression to your shot. I did notice that there's a bit more halation, which is organically in camera. Quite interesting. I don't think I've seen that a lot on phones. This might be an optical thing because the aperture is slightly wider, but hey, I mean, it doesn't look too bad. I love my halation. This right here is one of my favorite shots. I really like how it's composed. I also like the compression that we're getting. Plus, if we zoom in to see the details, that's the part where it kind of falls short, and I feel like Samsung really needs to work on that without me having to bump up my resolution. I should still be able to maintain this kind of details when I crop in, at least to 100%. Now these are shots taken in super telephoto, so this is everything between 5x and beyond. I like the compression. I like this to really tell a story because it isolates the frame a lot better and you can get pretty good details. But of course, like I said, once we go beyond that 1 and 2x, you can see that when you zoom in, the loss of detail is a lot more apparent. Of course, I did notice that it is improved over the S26 Ultra, but that margin isn't as massive as I would have hoped for.
You can actually just change the time of day for whatever you're shooting in. So for instance, we are in sunset right now. So I've taken this sort of semi-silhouette shot. So what I can do is actually tap in on Galaxy AI, go to create, and I can type in, turn this into a rainy night shot. Boom! Look at that. It adds cars, street lights, everything. All right, so under video, we'll also test out, of course, APV, but also the stabilization on the video. So let's start recording at 0.6. I'm just gonna walk forward while recording in APV log, and I'm gonna slowly pill and tilt upwards. And cut. Okay, so now that we have the video, you have the option to obviously color grade it later, but you can also go into your edit here and apply the LUT right over here. So we have standard, so you can see what standard looks like right over there. And you can look at blockbuster. Look at that. You've got coming of age, and you've got romance, you've got thriller. So a lot of these are really nice, but of course you should be getting our LUT, which is the first link in the description. Go download it now. It's not that expensive. Just get it. It's really good. Go get the LUT. Go get the LUT. What are you looking? Just click the link. What the hell? The first one. It's the first. There's not that many links. Just click the first link. The zooms aren't really good, so I'm gonna start taking some videos of Naeem, not in APV log this time, and you'll see the lens switching is very obvious from ultrawide to 1x, and then there'll be another switch at about 3x, and then at 5x. So it's kind of like, it's smoother than before, but it's still very obvious and jagged a little bit. But when you are shooting in APV, it feels a little bit more obvious, as if we're losing resolution when we're shooting. This is now a zoom test for APV, so we're at 0.6. That's 1x, that's 2x, that is 3x. Right there we had the first optical switch. That is 5x, another optical switch, and that is 10x. So the resolution and the loss of quality from 10x to 1x is very, very obvious.
Of course, the new feature that absolutely has to be mentioned is the horizontal lock. This is your super steady mode, but with a new twist, which makes the horizon completely lock when you're filming, which means your level will always be straight, and no matter how you rotate the phone, it's always going to be straight with the horizon. This is super useful and very action camera style.
Okay, let's talk low light, because that was one of the biggest updates apparently. It has a bigger aperture, especially when telephoto portraits are concerned, but honestly, I don't see a massive significant difference. So here, for example, super telephoto, low light, way better than it would be on the S26 Ultra for sure. Like, look at the details that you're getting, but the caveat is you need to have some bright lights to get the image to look good. Take a look at that. You can see the details in the foreground, the moon in the background really nice and bright, but we are losing out on some of those details. Once again, when there are lights, it does an incredible job. Look at those details that you're getting. This is where I think the Nightography on S26 Ultra truly shines, when you have some lights to work with. Of course, obligatory moonshot right over there and right over there. It's about the same. But crazily enough, look at the difference between a 3x here and then you're looking at 5x here. You can see like there's a huge washout here. Look at that. You can read the sign really well here. Here it's sort of a mess. Look at this section of the boat as well. A lot nicer in the details, especially look at this part right here, the reel that pulls it in. Here it's barely visible. So all in all, I would say Nightography has improved a little bit for telephoto, but it's not something massively significant.
So there you have it, our first proper impressions on the S26 Ultra's cameras. I would say this isn't a super hardcore detailed review, but this is my experience in the first 2 weeks to 3 weeks using this camera. I do want to put it to the ultimate test by doing our shot on style content and really pushing it to its max limit. So make sure you guys subscribe for that. Make sure you guys check out the APV log conversion LUT that we have in the description. If you like our look that we have in all of our videos and you want that as part of your own cinematography, definitely check it out. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care. Do you want to go home with me? Low key, you know what? Here, I'll give you the phone.